This is Joy News Prime, your most comprehensive 2 hours of television news in Ghana. My name is Israelite. Coming up, Electoral Commission confronted with another legal challenge over its plan to use the existing voters register in the conduct of the 2016 polls. Despite concerns, it is bloated. Case challenging eligibility of Zaneto Rawlings as the NDC's Korle Klottey parliamentary candidate to continue after Accra High Court dismisses motion against it.
And when we hit business, car dealers are complaining the ECOWAS common external tariff system we took off the first of this month has escalated prices of their vehicles.
Negotiations between government and teacher unions end without conclusion as the party scheduled another round of talks on Tuesday to avert possible strike. Also coming up in the bulletin will be sports, entertainment and Joy News Interactive. Do stay tuned. A suit has been filed at the Supreme Court against the Electoral Commission challenging the eligibility of some names in the voters register to be used for the 2016 general elections. Kwame Boafo, a member of the New Patriotic Party, is seeking 10 reliefs from the defendants, which also includes an order compelling them to compile a new and credible national voters register for use in the 2016 general elections in Ghana. The EC and the Attorney General, who are the two defendants, are expected to file a statement of defense within 14 days. Kwame Boafo, the plaintiff, has been explaining his legal quest. He spoke earlier on the Pulse.
The reason is that the commissioner of the Electoral Commission, in one of the interview with, I think, Joy FM or the News File, said that it will be arbitrary and discriminatory application of law to expunge or delete names of foreigners and minors from the current national register. This same Electoral Commission is saying that it is arbitrary and discriminatory application of law to expunge names from the register. Has contracted an independent auditor to audit the register. And I'm asking, why the auditor? Because this same institution is saying that they are found it is extremely difficult for them to expunge or delete names on the register. And they are auditing. What are you auditing? Secondly, the Electoral Commission own committee, chaired by VCRC Club, at page 19 to 20 of their funding. The Electoral Commission to fund a middle ground of a new registration process. Which new registration process will give us a new voter register? What are they doing about that? The Electoral Commission to also admitted that the current voter register is bloated, contain names of deceased persons, foreigners, and so on. That admission clearly shows that the current national register is not fit for this year's election. Therefore, you have to compile a new one, and they are not doing that. That is why I'm invoking the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to compel the Electoral Commission to comply with the findings of their committee, the findings in the VCRC committee, and also compel the Electoral Commission to compel a credible register for this year. And the VCRC committee, the committee said that the current register is not fit for any purpose. The current register is not fit for any purpose.
In which part of that committee's report did they say that? Because I remember the recommendations that were given.
Page 17 to 18, the committee said that the current register is not fit for any purpose. It's not fit for any purpose. If the register is not fit for any purpose, why are you using that same register to organize an election?
Now, a court case challenging the eligibility of Dr. Zaneto Rawlings as the National Democratic Congress parliamentary candidate for the Korle Klottey constituency will be heard after an attempt to stop the case failed on Monday. The case was filed by the incumbent Member of Parliament for Korle Klottey, Niyama Ashite, who lost to the daughter of the founder of the NDC, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, in the party's primaries last year. The lawyers of Dr. Zaneto wanted the case dismissed because it lacked merit. But the High Court in Accra rather dismissed the motion on the grounds that they did not wait to listen to Mr. Ashite's argument before bringing the motion. The judge also pointed out that there were procedural errors and that the motion was not properly brought. Monday's ruling would typically be a setback for Dr. Zaneto, but when Joy News' Kwache Afrenema caught up with her after the case, she said she was neither daunted by the court's decision nor distracted by the case itself.
The case is ongoing, so we're just waiting to see how it goes.
It looks like this is a blow to you.
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. Because the case isn't over yet. You can't say it's a blow until it's over, and we don't know that for sure, do we?
Are you confident of winning the case?
Yes.
I mean, this is taking away vital campaign time.
Allow the court to take its own course.
We make good use of the time that we have, so we just keep going.
So this is not distracting you in any way?
I wouldn't say so. It would be better not to have it, but if it's here, we deal with it and we move on.
Now, the incumbent MP, Mr. Nneɛma Ashite, who brought the case to court, has also reacted to the ruling.
Well, I mean, we're talking about law, okay, and you can see that there was a very comprehensive ruling that touched on the heart of the matter. That now that their application has been dismissed, we are now moving to the next stage with a motion for injunction to stop the lady from doing any campaign. And then we are going to finally decide whether she really is a registered voter. And that's it.
Some will say you lost this election. Why don't you?
I didn't lose that election.
You didn't lose?
I didn't lose it. I didn't lose it.
Then what happened?
Well, the point is that the woman was not qualified to stand. She was not qualified to stand. So
you tell those who say you're a bad loser.
I'm not a bad. She is also, well, I don't want to use wrong words. I didn't lose the election. We are in court. We've come to court. You were in the courtroom. A ruling has been made. We are going on. That's it. That's it.
How do you feel about this ruling?
Well, it's good for democracy, good for rule of law. That's it.
You are confident of winning the case at the end?
Oh, of course. What is left now is about determination of whether the lady is a registered voter. That's all.
From what you heard in court,
yeah.
Do you think your case will be upheld?
I am saying that what is left now is a determination of whether the lady is a registered voter. That's it.
How far are you willing to go to push, get to the bottom of this matter?
Oh,
we
step by step. We'll go as far as we can. Yeah.
Well, staying with the course, pressure group Citizens Movement Ghana has filed a suit against government demanding transparency in the controversial bus rebranding contract. The group, among other reliefs, is asking the court to order the Attorney General to make public her findings into the contentious contract awarded NDC supporter Selassie Ibrahim, chief executive of Smarties Production, the company that won the deal. The group will return to court on March 9.
Issue of transport or the Attorney General's office. And so what we did was to activate the rules of court in order to proceed with the matter. So we filed an application to set the matter down for hearing, which was scheduled for today. And so today we came to court only to meet a senior state attorney from the Attorney General's department, who then informed us. It was in open court that we got to learn that they had filed an affidavit in opposition to our application, and the judge informed us that this affidavit in opposition was filed on the 19th of February this year, and we had not even been served. And so we are taking steps to be served with that affidavit in opposition. And then also the issue of a preliminary legal objection came up, which is that the Attorney General is saying that we should have come by writ instead of an application. And so the judge has asked us to write written submissions, put down legal arguments on that, file simultaneously, and then we are back in court on the 9th of March, where the judge will make a decision on that, on the preliminary legal objection, before we proceed to the substantive matter under Article 21(1)(f) of the 1992 Constitution.
But were you surprised at the action of the AG today?
Well, we were not surprised because we were expecting them to be in court, and indeed the AG was in court, as well as representatives from the Ministry of Transport. They were in court as well, and so we are happy that at the very least, although belated, they have reacted to the application. It is good to advance democracy in this country, especially when it comes to the fundamental human rights relating to the right to information.
The executive director of the Media Foundation for West Africa says he is disappointed Parliament is not considering the importance of stakeholder input into the new Telecoms and Package Interception Bill. The bill, Interception of Postal Packets and Telecommunications Messages Bill 2016, which is currently before Parliament, when passed into law, may infringe a lot on your privacy. According to Suleiman Barima, the bill is a surveillance bill that requires public scrutiny and stakeholder participation.
I should acknowledge that around the world today, governments are taking all manner of measures to ensure that whilst people's freedoms online is respected, national security and security for persons within a state is also guaranteed. And therefore, it is not surprising for me if a government decides that, well, it is time for us to look into ways by which we can deal with crime that occur online. But at the same time, I think that privacy is an important thing. And so people have asked, would you trade, for example, your privacy for security? And others have said, well, your privacy is part of your security. And therefore, if in an attempt to provide you security, what they do is to breach your security, then what security are we talking about? And so people have talked about the Snowden equation, which is that state security versus individual privacy, which one is paramount? Yeah. And that is why our view, and I think that of many, has been that, look, it's important to guarantee security for people because they are bad boys, and bad girls online who are planning all manner of things. But at the same time, people also need to have their privacy guaranteed, which is a fundamental human right. And therefore, for a law like this, it is important that it is subjected to public scrutiny. It is subjected to stakeholder participation. And in fact, that is what the fundamental principle around internet governance is around the world. And I must say at this point that Ghana is one of 3 countries that are members of the Freedom Online Coalition around the world. In Africa, there are only 3 countries, Ghana, Kenya, and Tunisia. Okay. And fundamentally, this group of almost 30 countries have pledged and affirmed that when it comes to freedom of expression online, we will do what it is that would promote freedom of expression online rather than restricting it. And fundamentally, the rights that people have offline should apply to online. And therefore, one would expect that for the government of Ghana to think of coming up with what I would say is a surveillance bill. Fundamentally, it is just absolutely right that it is subjected to public discussions, public scrutiny, inputs, and so on. But what did we have? We just had it, and then we were told that we have 2 days to make inputs. And even as people raised concerns last week, we are told that we have 2 weeks.
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks to extend, to submit whatever memoranda we have on this particular bill. So one asks, what is the rush? We've had important bills, such as the Right to Information Bill in Parliament over the last, back and forth over the last decade. And that is something that is about empowering people to legitimately have access to the kind of information they need. It is when people don't have access to information that sometimes they will resort to all manner of ways to get information. Okay.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we have more stories. Please don't go away. President John Mahama says government has procured new ferries to be deployed immediately to ensure those who have to rely on them are assured of their safety. He was speaking on the back of a near ferry disaster last Wednesday night at the Yeji Lake crossing, save for the timely intervention of the Ghana Navy.
We also had a near disaster with a ferry crossing the Yeji crossing, and we believe that we should take a look at the safety of our ferries. But we also understand that the low level of the lake has made it a bit more dangerous with the ferry crossings. We're hoping that when the rains open up and the lake level comes up, we should be able to have safer crossings. We have new ferries that have asked to be deployed immediately so that we can be sure that our people are safe and secure when they have to cross some of the many rivers that we have crisscrossing our country.
Inmates of the Ho Central Prison in the Volta region should no longer be making their way to court in commercial vehicles meant to carry regular commuters. The mode of transportation, though highly risky, is what authorities have had to rely on for some years now after the vehicles completely broke down. Though government has now presented the prison with 2 new vehicles and a motorbike, the authorities say they could do with more.
Central Prison's last transfer saw about 40 inmates packed in a 214-seater commercial vehicle together with warden officers. Prison authorities lament that the arrangement poses great challenge to them. These 2 Mahindra pickups that have been serving the prison have completely broken down and out of use for close to 2 years. Speaking to Joy News, the commander of the prison, DDP Victor Agbelengo, explained that they tried to maintain and keep the vehicles on the road until the vehicles broke down completely. He added that running the prison without vehicles is quite terrible.
I tell you, the prison service has been commended over the years for the ability to maintain its vehicles. These vehicles came at a time when other institutions have been given the vehicle. But it is only with the prison service that you can see most of these vehicles still on the road. We have done our best to maintain all these vehicles all along, but it has gotten to a point that you can no longer maintain them, and that is why they are grounded. But we have done a lot to maintain vehicles, and I know people can attest to it that we have been able to maintain our vehicles for this period. And when it gets to a point, it gets beyond repairs, there is nothing you can do about it again.
Fortunately, government has presented a 30-seater Nissan bus to the male cells and a Nissan saloon car to the female cells of the whole Central Prison. The facility has also received a motorbike. That notwithstanding, DDP Victor Agbelengo says the command still needs more vehicles.
I don't have a command vehicle, so in fact, at times going on certain distances is quite challenging. But there is the assurance, or there is the information that government wants to still give us vehicles. So we expect that when such issues come up, they will give us a vehicle, a command vehicle, and we also want something like a pickup to facilitate in the conveyance of for short distances, and then if the number of the prisoners is not quite high, we can use that one to convey them. I must personally commend government, the Service Council, for the way they have handled our issues. In fact, they've done a lot for us by making sure that at least we get this fleet of vehicles that have come into the system right now for us to be able to operate and to manage issues. And so we want to appreciate them and want to appreciate the current crop of directorates for the way they are going about the things, the way they are handling situations.
The situation is not different at the Kpandu and Kitekrachi prisons, where authorities have challenges with the unavailability of vehicles. Fred Kwame Asare's report from Volta region.
We're taking a break on Joy News Prime. When we come back, we'll bring you business news.
All right, so time for business. And car dealers are complaining the ECOWAS Common External Tariff, CET system, which took effect on the 1st of this month, has resulted in the higher prices of their vehicles. According to them, the new tax regime has unduly increased their cost of operations, and they have no option but to pass it on to consumers by increasing the prices of the vehicles. According to the dealers, under the new ECOWAS Common External Tariff system, the import duty for saloon cars has shot up from 5% to 10%, whilst that of sports utility vehicles, SUVs, have also increased from 10 to 20%. They explained that these hikes, coupled with tough economic environment, have resulted in higher prices for their vehicles.
This is a Yaris 1.5 automatic, and this is currently going for 86,000. Ghana cedis. Well, the general taxes, as was explained, jumped from 10% to 20%, but we had a 7% increase in our prices. So this Prado KD automatic. It's KD because it has a turbo-fitted engine. This currently goes for 300,000 Ghana cedis.
Vehicles below 1,005 has been increased by 5% and 10% to 20%. So relatively, for lower cars or smaller passenger cars is 5% more to become 10%, and the SUVs added 10% more.
What happens is that the salon cars has increased. The salon cars have increased by not less than 5%. That's about 4%, and then that's on the overall price. What's happening is that the import duty itself has increased by 5%.
Joy Business has also been speaking with some second-hand car dealers who also added their voice to the concern.
As for the increase there, even if without the tax, when the currency goes up, the duty that we pay also goes up because they always check the duties on a foreign currency, either dollars or euro. You see, and also they come up with an increase of taxes. So it's both sides.
The cost is the increase of the duties and all that. Well, it used to be 5%, and now they have increased it to 10%.
But the principal economic officer at the Ministry of Finance, Benjamin Ayensu Kwafu, also explained to Joy Business vehicles are part of the items largely enjoying tax reliefs under the ECOWAS CET.
When we look at vehicles, the CET, under the CET is 20%. But Ghana said, no, we can't do that. So we still maintain our rate of 5% vehicles. So by all other Umoma countries, all the French-speaking countries, they apply 20% as import duty on vehicles. But so Ghana, we did not change any of our rates.
Meanwhile, prices of second-hand vehicles are reported to have gone up by over 25% within the last year due to the cedi depreciation and taxes, among other factors, at the country's ports. Well, some Ghanaian companies are advancing moves to exploit the opportunities generated by the rollout of the digital migration broadcasting migration system. The companies have established factories to manufacture set-top boxes as well as the digital TV sets for both the local and West African markets. More in this report.
This has been possible because under the digital transition, all analog TV sets would require set-top boxes to be compliant. The secretary to the Digital Broadcasting Migration Committee, Edmond Fiangu, explains to Joy Business there's a bigger market for these products because they can be exported to neighboring countries.
For digital TV, you can package more than 20 TV stations on one frequency. There are some of our neighbors who only have, in terrestrial analog, only like 2 channels or 3 channels. I can speak about Côte d'Ivoire, and that has only about 3 terrestrial channels. So the moment they switch on a digital channel, they have to fill it with more. Exactly. It creates opportunity for content producers to go markets because I know West African countries who watch a lot of Ghana TV over satellite, and so there's that affinity, and our creative industry can really exploit that opportunity.
One such local company, Suba Info Solutions, has already set up a factory to start manufacturing set-top boxes by next month. Grant Apia, a senior sales and marketing officer.
We have built an assembly line that will be able to assemble in the set-top boxes and also be distributing in Ghana as well as West Africa. We actually have 2 boxes. One box is called Ghana, that's the one for Ghana. And we've done another one called Diwa, and that was called Digital West Africa. And that one we are targeting the entire West African market. And then we're hoping that we'll be able to draw some good attentions once we get out of Africa.
Okay, so definitely this is a huge opportunity for Ghanaian companies like yours.
Very, very huge, and I think they need a lot of support, so that's because all the West African countries will be dependent on Ghana for us to supply them, because most of them are now about to enter the phase of the transformation itself, so they'll need Ghana to guide them, and I feel more businesses will need to jump in to fill in these big markets.
GN Electronics is also looking beyond producing set-top boxes to assemble digital TV sets for both the Ghanaian and West African market. The general manager, Marisa Susan Phim, has also been speaking to Joy Business.
We partnered with international manufacturers and we started assembling NCA certified receivers in Elmina last year. So we have here a product that is assembled in Ghana. We've also done something for Ghanaians. So we have a manual that is in local language. So we have Chui Fanti Enga for the users to be able to learn how to operate the set-top box. In a few months, we will start assembling televisions. Those as well will be certified by the NCA. So we're working with tertiary institutions locally. We're working with communities to employ and train and truly build the skill set for an electronics assembly industry.
Aside the production of set-top boxes and digital TV sets, TV content producers are also expected to sell more not only locally but outside, just like the Indian telenovela Kumkum Bhagya exclusively telecast on Adum TV channel on Multi TV.
Still staying in business, land surveyors are now hoping to have their industry bill passed by April this year. The Institution of Surveyors has been working on this for over 10 years now. A passage of the bill is expected to address the high rate of unprofessionalism in the construction industry, which is blamed for the many building collapses in recent years. President of the institution, Eko Budu Angwa, spoke to Joy Business at the annual Surveyors Conference this year.
Clamping down on unprofessionals, as I said, is what is difficult for us because of the non-existence of the Survey Council bill. There's no law which says that nobody should practice as a surveyor. So that's the problem that we are facing. We are saying, we are calling for the professionals, is that when you see a professional, your work is done for you and done for you professionally. By April, we must try to get this law into Parliament so that it should be passed before the campaign starts. It went to Parliament for passing. Then 2012 was there, and there was elections, and there was a new Parliament, and there was a new cabinet. And the new cabinet brought it down. It asked that it should be brought down for them to see also. And it was brought down. When it was brought down, they saw that there was some conflict between that and the Land Commission bill. So they brought it back to us. And we are still putting finishing touches. We are in consultation with Land Commission.
Well, so that's the president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. We now have to go to the stock market where John Amako is standing by. I know it's not the stock market, but you are updating us on the stocks. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
Tell us more about the stock market.
Exactly. So today only one particular equity moved the market, that's Ghana Commercial Bank. But of course, because of the capital base and the value of that, it actually was able to move the market by adding 1 peso to the investor. But of course, the market did quite well. Okay, by actually selling almost about 40,000 shares of other shares, but then only GCB really managed to actually break through by adding one peso to their shares to close the market around 3.71 peso. Again,
so all the other equities went down.
No, that's not what it means. What it means is that they traded, but they were not able to actually break through, to actually cause some kind of action on the market base. That's what it means. Okay, so that is exactly what it is. It's only GCB that was able to actually do that, basically. And that is exactly what it is on the Ghana store. But still, the total market capitalization was able to actually rise a bit by almost about 0.01% to close somewhere around 56,849,000,000. That is exactly what this also means. So it means that GCB has a very strong impact on the Ghana stock, because if you want to rank, it's going to be almost about the 5th most capitalized equity on that particular market there. So it's quite significant in there. And then bringing the year-on-year index to almost about 0.09 in the negative region. So the composite index is still wallow within the negative regions. And let's look at the commodities market. Crude oil is actually gaining some momentum after the hullabaloo about Iran, Iraq, the freeze and all those. I think gradually the market is responding to it. So as we speak, before we came to studio, I mean, you almost added about $1.79, cent to it to close the market around 34.80. That's exactly what it is. You know, but Friday was doing almost around 32, 33, 32, exactly. 33. So now it's almost about 34, 80 a barrel. That's exactly. Gold,
quite encouraging.
It's quite encouraging. Gold also keeps going down. Today it's lost almost about $26.21.
Oh.
Now closing about 1,202 per ounce. That's also quite instructive to also get. And then cocoa also lost almost about $18 to close at 2,893. So that is how the global commodity marketplace looks like. But then let's look at it. Today, the Ghana cedi did very well after it actually was able to outmuscle the likes of the British pound, the euro, and the Chinese yuan, basically. But it's still not able to actually deal with the pressures being mounted on it by the United States dollar. So that's exactly the market for you, Emmanuel.
All right, thank you very much. That was a good one.
Exactly.
All right, so let's see you tomorrow again with more updates. Yeah. That was John Amakon, our stock market analyst, giving to us a breakdown of the market today. And that wraps up the business segment. Thank you very much for your company, and do join me again same time tomorrow for more interesting developments. Keep watching the news. Good evening.
All right, it's now time for entertainment. MSG has joined me. Unfortunately, her seat is sunk way too low. I think you should let me help you up.
Okay, all right.
So
okay.
You're sinking too low.
Okay,
you have to get up actually, and then I'll raise it, and then you can sit.
All right.
Okay.
All right then.
Great.
Okay.
So that's my welcome.
All right. So that's your welcome. I have missed you so much. You know, you're in here during Valentine. So out of love, I tried to give you something nice for Valentine. Do you like achuda?
What's that?
Oh, you don't like alewa, black and white. Okay, so I got you this.
I know it to be alewa.
I got you this.
Is this alewa?
No, this is modernized alewa.
This is agata.
This is what they call agata.
Yes.
Oh, it's not Israel. I was told about to buy Israel, and they gave me this one. So this is for you.
This is alewa. This is agata.
Okay, agata Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
okay, good. Thanks.
That's my Valentine gift to you.
This is what I also got you.
Okay. Okay.
It's a headset.
Is it? Oh, I should have had this earlier. They snatched my phone. I don't have a phone.
Yeah, I had that. Too
anyway,
bad.
Anyway, I get a new phone.
Yeah, you're gonna
and
get
I use this one. Thank
you. So that you can drive in you can cruise in your vehicle and still, talk.
And so talk and then
to your Nigerian friends.
You see, hey. No, they say I should tell you that.
Yes.
You're welcome. Oga, how that side? You go enjoy. See.
Well, I actually went to a Nigerian wedding in Dubai. So
yeah, you told me about that. So what did you eat? Ewedu and amala.
Oh, none of that.
What did you eat? Eba and a
It happened in Dubai.
See, Niger put up the forehand. Everywhere is Niger.
Let's carry on with the
Anyway, so you know Wise's story. It's common knowledge now that the young man at the December to Remember concert showed his manhood. Now he's in and out of court. He was in court, and the next time he'll be in court is on Wednesday. Now things are not getting any better. But we thought to find out the effect of what he did that night on his family.
Ouch! Yeah, we never thought about that actually.
Budding hip life artist Eugene Ashi, known in showbiz circles as Wiser Great, says the recent case of his alleged indecent exposure nearly killed his career. Wiser exposed his manhood while performing behind a female dancer at a public event in Accra last year, touching off a social media buzz and widespread condemnation. He says the incident affected his family.
I wanted to stop doing music because my mom doesn't like what I'm doing. She's always worried. The way the insults were coming, it was too much. People were insulting my mom and all that.
Did it affect her health-wise?
Yeah, she deformed. My mom was crying every day because every morning people would be coming to my family house and they would be talking about it, and that she's always calling me, talking to me. She wanted me to stop doing music.
Your dad?
My dad, if he called me, I already pick up.
Why?
Anytime he calls me, as soon as I pick up the call, the first question he will ask me, he wanted me to explain, but I couldn't explain. Especially the gigs. I was supposed to perform on a lot of stages the last Christmas. I was paid for a lot of shows, but because of what happened, we had to send the money back to the people.
Why? They just called and said, we don't want you anymore? Or what happened?
I'm always at the police station, and I can't leave. When I get there, I'll be there till evening time. My manager have to come there and bail me before I can go. I've learned a lot. Some like, whenever I'm going to perform, I have to make sure I know what I'm going to do before I get on the stage. I don't just go and perform and leave.
So you think that it was because you were not prepared?
Anytime I go to stage to perform, I just go to perform. I don't plan what I'm going to do on stage.
But we can be expecting his new collaboration with gospel artist SP Kofi Sapon, a song to thank God for everything he has gone through.
I met SP Kofi Sapon, and he received me very well. He spoke to me, and we are even working on a single. It's a gospel song. Just thanking God for everything he has done for me.
Okay, I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you too for bringing us entertainment. So we're taking a break. When we come back, we have sports, and Nathaniel Ato is joining me. All right, so it's time for sports, and I've been joined by the king of swag, who also loves sports, Nathaniel Ato. Good evening.
You know, so
great to have you on set.
Yeah, good to see you too. You know what? I should be asking you, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
Sure. We're talking a lot of stuff right now, but did you make time to watch any NBA?
A bit of NBA, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of NBA.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. What else?
What football.
Oh, just football.
Soccer.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about one man who is loved across the world for his exploits in long-distance running. Yes, it's the man, Haile Selassie, who is in Accra. He passed through Accra earlier today to launch the Millennium Marathon for this year, which has a very big prize at stake of $100,000 for the winner. Government is pledging support for this event, which will be headlined by the long-distance legend.
When I was here last year, I didn't expect, the race to become like what's happening right now. Good. But one thing, what I want to tell you, this is not just an issue of yours and sport, an issue of running, an issue of health, an issue of Red Cross. When we talk about running, and when we talk about sport, I don't think. As you know, used to be Africa rise on. Used to be. Now, Africa on running, huh? Yes, we have to. Yes, we do. I mean, to catch where the others, of course, we have to run. Which way? What we are telling you now. The others, just stay reach, just certain point. And if we wish to be like Europeans or Americans, we have to run. Don't worry, we will catch them. Believe me. One thing what we have to do, I think now we are talking about running, the Millennium Marathon. When we talk about running is everything, I'm telling you, everything. Now, the Minister of Health should be here. Huh? How much just we spend per year for health care of our people in hospital? How much you spend? A lot. In my country, many of them, they spend a lot for diabetes, blood pressure, and so on and so on and so on. By going to Bangkok, Saudi Arabia, Germany, to spend a lot of money. You see, directly doing sport is making money by protecting, all those diseases what we don't like. Of course, nobody likes a disease.
The Millennium Marathon has introduced our progressive tagline, Africa on the Run, which presents an agenda described to give attention to a continental drive to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which includes good well-being and a healthy lifestyle, in addition to the social issues facing Africa. The government will support the exciting 10 regional marathon race, which I'm told will engage at least 100,000 youth in all the 10 regions of Ghana. The Regional Millennium Marathon Advocacy Scheme will engage the youth prior to each marathon race and bring to the level of the youth in the simplest language and possibly in local languages the details of the social issues and challenges facing them at this time. We must all do our best now and race to ensure that the 2016 Millennium Marathon will be a race to promote peace and contribute the strengths and support the ideals of the SDGs. I take this opportunity to officially launch the Millennium Marathon, Africa on the Run 2016.
All right, so that's how we wrap it up here on the Sports Bulletin. There's more on tomorrow's edition of the morning show. All right, so that's how we wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.
All right, and that'll be it for the bulletin. Before I go a quick round through our top stories, the Electoral Commission is confronted with another legal challenge over its plan to use the existing voters register in the conduct of the 2016 polls. Despite concerns, it is bloated. The case challenging the eligibility of the Zaneto Rawlings, as the NDC's call it, clotted parliamentary candidate, will continue after an Accra High Court dismissed a motion against it. In business, car dealers are complaining the ECOWAS Common External Tariff System, which took off on the 1st of this month, has escalated prices of their vehicles. And negotiations between government and teacher unions end without conclusion as the parties schedule another round of talks on Tuesday to avert a possible strike. And that'll be all for the bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Israel. Have a good evening.